I'm going to talk about where I was, what happened, and where I am now. But before I get into that, let me talk a little about my background. I was born in Buffalo, New York in June of 1936, and for those that are counting, it's 86 years old. So
Unbelievable.
I went to school there and got an accounting degree. The Army sent me to get a master's degree later on while I was in service. I spent 20 years as an Army Airborne Ranger infantry officer. I was in combat in Vietnam. I've been overseas in Germany and in Korea. So I've been around a few places in my life. Approaching this year, I could hardly walk. In December of last December, I played golf for 2 rounds, fell into the bunker a couple times, couldn't swing it without falling out of balance. And from then on, my legs started hurting, my back was hurting, everything was hurting. And then I ended up getting numbness in my leg one morning, and I got up for a cup of coffee, and I started to stand up, and I fell completely down, dead weight on the floor. I had a hematoma that was the size of the baseball. I needed to get it drained. I couldn't walk, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't stand, I couldn't do anything. I laid in bed, looked at the ceiling and said, this is awful. I don't want to die this way. I want to get back to life, but I have no way of doing it. But they went to the hospital for a couple of weeks. Then went 3 months of outpatient therapy to learn how to balance myself, learn how to walk straight and bend over without falling over. So part of that rehabilitation was what I was doing here at where I live. At the community pool, I was doing water calisthenics, so using the water as gravity and also to give me resistance in moving my arms. I still wasn't happy. I was getting more brain dead. You know, being an accountant during the tax season, I didn't even want to do my own taxes. I just wanted to stay away from the office and my home. It was just an awful time for me. And I felt that I was getting dementia. Well, I was working out at the pool one day, and this is where I was. Painful, disgruntled, just not wanting to live anymore. But I was exercising a little bit, and I was lounging in the sun, and a woman came in. I knew it wasn't a resident. She waved at me, I waved at her. The next day we talked a little bit, and then she gave me an unbelievable story, one that I could not believe. She said, have you heard of a stem cell patch? I said, no. What is it? What's this right here? I said, that? And she said, yeah. And I said, what's that supposed to do? What's going to make you younger? I said, come on, what is it? What is this? So I said, well, okay. So she put one on me, and a couple of days later, she went back home in Indiana. And I got telephone calls with her, and I said, well, I'm going to try it, because I had nothing else on the plate that I could try. So I said, I'll try it. And so I got into buying the silver package, I think it is. And I started using it. And I said, I don't believe anything that's going to happen to me. This is too much like a miracle. And I'm a God-fearing man. And I said, only God could raise the dead. And it looks like they're trying to raise me from the dead and put me back in the youth program. All of a sudden, I started. And here's what happened. The X39 was on me because I looked at that as the motor. And the other patches that I use are where I wanted to direct that power. And the biggest problem I was having is a belly. But after starting with the 39, my mood changed. I was looking out at from the pool, standing in the water. And I said, wow, what a beautiful day this is. And I said, I never said that before. I felt serenity, and I felt clarity in my mind that I was doing what I should be doing. It was a great feeling. But also, this belly was giving me a problem. I was thinking I was having shortness of breath, so they're treating me for COPD. And what it was is every time I bent over to tie my shoe, my belly would get in the way and push the lungs back, and I couldn't breathe. So I was complaining about shortness of breath when I should have been thinking about my belly. So the first thing I did is I was going after belly fat. And I used the X39, the SP6 Complete, the Aeon, and the Glutathione. And they have a process of 3 days, one above the belly in the triangle, around the belly and above in the triangle, and below the belly in the triangle. After about 2 weeks of doing this, I could see my toenails for the first time in a long time. And I kept on going. And after about 2 months, I felt like I'm really getting down to weight. And I said, maybe I can make it to below 200. Well, today I'm at 178.
You lost 50 pounds.
Yes, I did. And everybody's telling me I'm the walking advertisement for the patches because they want to know, what'd you do? And then I had another incident with an ear infection. I went to see my doctor, and the doctor said, I'll give you some drops and you can take these pills and see what happens. Well, nothing happened. I still had the pain. So I put a X39 behind my ear, and in 2 days, the pain is gone. And I said, I'm starting to believe that these things work. I,
They're working.
I also had back pain. I had about 20 some injections in my lower back just so I could play golf because my back was hurting so much. And many times when you stick the ball into the ground up to tee it off, I would feel like I'm going to fall over on top of the ball. Then I realized that I hadn't had back pain for 6 months now, just through the process I've been doing. And having all these patches, I'm investigating and looking at ways that I can get to other parts of my body. And it's been very helpful.
So Tom, you had, I'm reading over my notes, you had 4 skin cancer removals.
Right.
Can you touch on that? Because I think you amazed your doctor.
I sure can. I had 2 of them on my chest. One of them was pretty long, put in about a 2-inch scar, and then 2 in the back. The ones where he operated on front started healing and healing fast. And then they said I had to come in to get the back ones done with light therapy. And I said, light therapy, that sounds like what I do or what I use. But it was different. I had to wear goggles because they had this big bright light on, and they said you'll get blind you with it. Well, they did that for about 3 minutes, and that was it. Came back in 2 weeks, and they said, it's unbelievable. All these scars are gone, and you don't have any cancer.
Wow.
And I hold up the patch again, and I said, that's because of this patch. Oh, we know that we told us the last time. So nobody gets by me anymore without me taking the patch out. I carry it in a plastic bag and I hold it up when they say, what have you been doing? I said, just this.